Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song At the Drop of a Hat from BAND-MAID in their 2019 album, CONQUEROR. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what's going on with this song. At the drop of a hat captures emotional instability. At the moment before honesty, the push and pull between wanting closeness and fearing exposure. The song lives in hesitation. Moods shift suddenly, time moves forward anyway, and chances appear only to slip out of reach. Rather than dramatizing conflict, Miku focuses on interior struggle, forced smiles, unspoken thoughts, and the exhausting loop of expectation versus reality. We all can understand that pretty well. The resolution isn't confession or reunion, but self-clarity, waking up, moving forward, and choosing to be yourself without waiting for certainty. All right, here's the intro. The you reflected in my eyes hasn't changed since the day we met. Tomorrow, the day after, I still don't know, you and I. That's interesting because it's hard to tell too, is it a positive or negative? Because at first it sounds like this constant, the you, basically the you that I see hasn't changed, which could be a good thing, right? Because there is that side of like the thing that you fall in love with about a person that like, man, I can still see that in you. But the way that it's also said here, I still don't know you and I. So those could still be true. It's just like I still see you the same, but I'm still not sure. And then we get into this though. My mood changes at the drop of a hat. Nothing but frustration keeps building. Little by little, time keeps moving forward. So it could also not be something with them. We'll find out maybe later on in the song. It could just be like her feelings, like she kind of keeps wavering back and forth. Carried by a tailwind, go, fly away. Speculation that won't let go. A forced, dressed up fake smile. That's not it. I can't say it. Speculation that won't let go. So this wondering, I guess, this trying to figure it out. And yet at the same time, this dressed up fake smile. Here's the chorus. Don't hide anything. Show me. These fantasies of expectation and anxiety. Will they come true someday? Until the day they turn into the past, supposing. That's interesting. Okay, so it does seem very clear that she's writing from a perspective of this fluctuation going on inside of her. Trying to figure things out. So there's all this stuff kind of brewing under the surface and moving around, and yet she puts on a fake smile kind of day after day, just going on, but can't let go of these feelings, and wondering like these ideas that I have, these expectations, these anxieties, are they going to come true? That's a really neat way of saying that too. Until the day they turn into the past. Meaning they come into reality. Verse 2, the closer we get, the farther we drift apart. Chance plays another game of tag. So again, this idea of fluctuation, this back and forth, this chance of could it happen, could it not happen? I want to know, I don't want to know. It's maddening. It doesn't work that way. Man, this is really interesting writing because she's managed through each and every piece of this song to keep this chain of this like, I don't know, maybe, maybe not. How do I feel? I don't know how I feel. I feel good. I feel bad. It's really interesting. I'm curious this too. The closer we get, the farther we drift apart. The only thing that I could maybe liken that to is like, maybe if it's just a physical closeness, like us spending time together, but yet inside we're drifting apart, because it can't mean that like internally we're getting closer and drifting apart because those just aren't compatible. Because if you are growing closer to someone, now I guess there's maybe an argument for growing close to someone but still uncertain if you want to be with that person. Maybe that's where that could exist. But I don't know, it kind of speaks to me that maybe on the outside, like they spend time together, but again, internally, she's feeling this drifting, this distance. Pre-chorus. Maybe it's fine just as things are. If there's no way back anymore, then losing it before it's exposed. That's impossible. I know. It's starting to wear me down. This is an interesting line too. Maybe it's fine just as things are. Because I think that in life and in relationships, especially in long-term relationships or in marriage, you are sometimes having to battle contentment, right? Because there are definitely situations where like, no, it's not fine as things are. You know, if you're not paying attention to each other, if you're miserable, if you're selfish, if, you know, another partner's not being faithful, not necessarily even just physically, but in their heart and in their mind, with their eyes. It's like, no, things aren't fine as they are. But I think we also have to be careful, especially in a social media age where the ideal is always put forward, right? And sometimes you can see these like TikTok couples or YouTube couples, and it is the age-old story since social media has been around that you're generally getting people's highlight reels of their life, and it's like, oh, they have so much fun together. Oh, they always laugh together. How come we never laugh together? Again, there could be some truth in that. And there could be this like wake up call needed that's like, hey, we need to do some things to restore relationship. And it's constant in relationships, right? Of not getting to a place where you're so selfish, so self-centered that you're not thinking about the other person and their needs as well. And sometimes you could be sitting around saying, oh, they need to meet my needs first. There may be some truth to that. But in a healthy, loving relationship, sometimes it's you taking the first step, you being the one to love and serve, and instead of just sitting thinking, because if you're both in that place, that's not going anywhere healthy. So the hope would be, you know what, maybe let me do some introspection. Am I doing well connecting? Am I doing well giving my time and my attention and being present? And if you can say, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe some of the things I'm longing for, they're also longing for. And you can take that loving step. The hope is that person wakes up and reciprocates as well. Or maybe it's just a conversation that's needed. But that thought of maybe it's fine just as things are is a complicated one. Because sometimes yes, and you kind of need to reel in your expectations. And then sometimes it's like, no, there's actually something that needs to be addressed. Don't hide anything. Here's chorus. Tell me, the mismatch between ideals and reality, even you are hiding secrets. Another day spent running in circles. So it's this idea that they're probably both have some things they're feeling. Here's the bridge. It's not about the outside. It's what's inside that matters. I can't stop thinking, how long are you going to make me wait? Final chorus. Don't hide anything. Show me. These fantasies of expectation and anxiety, will they come true someday? Until the day they turn into the past. Wake up. Push through. Don't look back. Let yourself be yourself. And that's an important one. Don't hide anything. Show me. There's a time for that, right? At least me personally, I tend to try to kind of figure some things out, get some things in line internally with myself, and then I want to talk. Then I want to present my feelings. I often don't like presenting my feelings raw because, especially as a husband, I think there's a weight that you feel. that I'm not saying that as men, you must always hide your feelings, suppress, just suffer under the load. But, that is partly our place as men, and that can find an unhealthy place. But there's also a place where that's right, and for me, I never want to sow insecurity in my wife, whether that's, and generally this is going to be like just with life things, whether it's career, finance, I don't like throwing everything out that I'm thinking, because as much as she would want to hear my feelings, I also don't want to plant these thoughts in her of like, are we okay? Is like are we going to be good? Are we going to be taken care of? So personally, I like to kind of sort through whatever I'm thinking and feeling, so that when I talk about it, I can give some assurance and be like, well, here's kind of what I've been thinking or I've been wondering. But that's also a personality thing. And so, yes, I think there is that side, though, that I do need to be, because I will tend to bottle it up and never talk about it, and that misses a side of me that she wants to connect with, that I think is important and is necessary, and that probably as a man and me with my personality can tend to not want to put forward. So I think there is an amount of maybe not hiding anything, but choosing when to present something, how to present something, if something needs to be presented. But that's just my thought on it. All right, let's see down here. Okay, this is a pretty understandable statement. We all understand. Hope and fear imagined in equal measure, looping endlessly. Interesting. Well, really thought-provoking song. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we can have a conversation there. But thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.